Hi, so today I have a very nice RC airplane on my table. This one is actually discontinued, so I managed to snatch this from a hobby store, which just want their inventory to be sold. So I got the Horizon Hobby Champ S Plus, and this is I think this is a part of the UMX series. It's about just slightly above 100 gram weight, and the wingspan on this one, I think it's 694 millimeter almost, and it's made of this foam like all the other UMX planes. It's when you hold it, it might not feel too sturdy, and I think that if you would bump this plane into something, it might break. So this one uses a brushless motor in front, so it got a lot of power. It has landing set, which is slightly spring. There's a tail wheel which follows the rudder, so when you turn the rudder, there's a bit of help turning the plane for ground handling, which works just fine. And this one, as I said, is the Champ S Plus, and S stands for safe and the plus stands for the enhanced safe feature, which not only safe is auto leveling, and this one also has a GPS on top. So if you are about to get a flyaway, when you lose control of the aircraft and it just flies away, after about 120 meters the aircraft will by itself return, and when it's nearby you, it will wiggle the wing and you can resume control. You can also have auto landing, so by pressing and holding one of the buttons on the remote, this one can auto land. And there's also a hold feature, which means when you press the button once, the aircraft will circle above you until you resume control of it, which I think is just it's like drone-like. So it looks really nice. It looks even better in the air, and even though this feels like fragile when you hold it, I mean there's some sort of foam which is a bit squeaky, and the stabilizer and the rudder are made of a bit weaker foam. When you get it in the air, it handles just excellent. It's so nice to fly this plane, and I like the sound of it. I like the look of it. I like the acrobatics you can do with it. I mean, there's no problem doing anything really. And as this one is set up, you actually have 3 levels. You have like safe when it's stabilized, and then you have intermediate and experienced mode. And experienced mode means that you have no limitations at all. You can just go with all the crazy stuff. And I think the intermediate mode, which you set up on your remote, is actually with lower rates, I guess. So I use this one with my Spectrum DX8, and as recommended, I set the timer for 6 minutes. But one of the first times I flew this one, I got about 9 minutes flight time, because it was quite windy and I could hover in the wind and reduce throttle. And the timer only counts when the throttle is above 25%. So I think 9 minutes of flight time, that's just excellent, because this one, there's a battery hatch on the other side, and this one takes the E-Flight 2-cell 280 milliamp batteries. And these are tiny, they are inexpensive, and I have 6 of them, I think. I have 7 of them actually, because when I bought this one, this is a BNF version, which there's no transmitter. And usually BNF means that you have to purchase both battery, charger and transmitter, but this one actually came with both a battery and a charger, so that was a great deal. But I think that 9 minutes out of 1 battery, and if I have like 7 batteries, you can just do the math. I can fly a long time, and I think it's so fun to fly this plane. I think we better just watch the footage of me flying it. So first off, some ground handling, and I think this one tail wheel really helps. And it's nice for once to have like smooth surface to start off. Yeah, it's quick in the air. Okay, so the first loop, some rolls. It's really agile, this Champ S+. Well, okay, I'm just goofing around here. I'm into safe again. So I think safe is a really nice feature, even if you're an experienced pilot, because, you know, sometimes you just lose orientation and it might save the day. So I think all these features like the Champ S+, which have, you know, the safe auto level, limited banking, and also the GPS return to home function, I think that's you know, a bunch of great features to have, even if you don't use them. They are there if you need them. So I'm going to experience it again and do some, you know, climbing rolls. There's really no limitations of what can be done with this one, I think. Just to go crazy if you like to, or just, you know, fly slow or fight the wind or whatever. When it comes to these smaller, like UMX style airplanes, which are, you know, somewhere between 600 and 700 millimeter wingspan, to me at least, that's a nice size. You don't have to have like a large space to fly them in. They're quite easy to transport. I think it's a nice size. I mean, they feel fragile when you hold them, but up in the air, they're just like they're in their right element. And I like to both fly like, you know, scale, slow, and nice wide turns. And I sometimes just like to go crazy. When you have like this a headwind, you can go really slow and have it almost kite. So if you like, you can do like snappy rolls, no problem. Both snappy and, you know, wider loops. And even with safe, you can do like quite tight turns if you use both the aileron and rudder. So what I'm trying to do here is just, you know, kite in the wind, in the headwind, to have it almost stand still. And it handles just nice. You can go really slow if you have a headwind. So if I'm not doing acrobatics, I like to just, you know, stay in safe. Of course, it depends on the airplane. This one has, you know, tight turns even with safe engaged. So I think it's just it's unnecessary to go out of safe unless you really want to do the crazy stuff. And I enjoy, you know, a day like this where you can stay outdoors. There's a sunny day. There's, you know, a handleable breeze. It's difficult if you have like wind that comes and goes and are unpredictable. But this one was just, you know, from my back, so I could predict where I had the wind coming from. And you can go really slow, facing the wind, almost silent. And it's, to me at least, it's easy to tell orientation with the white and the red. And I like the, you know, the rounded wings. I think this one looks really good when it flies. As usual, when you do like the crazy stuff, it's always good to have altitude, because that will save you if you somehow lose orientation or, you know, do a bit too crazy things. To lose altitude, like to this spiral, you know, like no throttle turns, just to get it down, because it will climb when you. If you just push the power and get the speed up, it will climb. So I have to say, I mean, this one is so nice to fly. I'd be disappointed that you know, Horizon Hobby discontinued this one. Although I think if you compare this one to the UMX Turbo Timber, I think the Turbo Timber, of course, has some useful features like, you know, flaps, and navigation lights is always nice, and the Timber also can, you know, fly slower, and it got those great, you know, Timber foamy, large, oversized wheels as well, which you know, helps when you are about to land. But this one, I really like this one. You can go slow, you can go, you know, fast, crazy stuff, or the scale stuff. Oh. So it's time to, I think it's time to get this one on the ground. Just slowing speed and altitude, so I have a manageable approach. Okay, it's time to get it down. Facing the wind, come on, you can do it. Oh, okay, good, nice.